Hello, I am John Rushton, the emotions expert. It seems today that many companies are becoming virtue signalers or becoming a little bit woke or trying to jump on the bandwagon to be what is currently culturally expedient, or ethnicities or inclusions or whatever the current buzzwords are, and what people think they should and shouldn't do and why they should do them and all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, companies are there to be companies and to make a product or offer a service and to continue doing so. And in doing so, people obviously want to buy their products or utilize their services. And in return for those, they get paid amounts of money, and they have people to provide those services or create those products, and so on and so forth. It's a big cyclic circle, and it should be as such. However, it appears that some companies have got lost. They've become virtue signalers. They've tried to do this. They've tried to be extra inclusive where it wasn't expedient to be inclusive at all. They've tried to incorporate people to please everybody. But the problem with pleasing everybody is that once you please everybody, you're everything to everybody and nothing to yourself. You lose your self-respect, you lose your own ability, you lose your own thought process, you lose your own originality, and you become watered down by some other stupid moronic creeps who say, oh, you should do this or you should do that. And these people are usually low-life gutter snipes who have no value into life at all. They're people who have something to say, they have a voice to say, and they will say it at all costs because they have nothing to lose. They don't have a company behind them with lots of money and lots of employees to support. They have nothing. They only have themselves. And so they don't care what they do and what they say and how they say it. And they don't care what the consequences are. And they don't really care if they get shouted at, because they will shout back, because again, they've nothing to lose. And shouting back today obviously causes a bit of a disruption. And once a disruption occurs, it becomes newsworthy. So therefore, they're getting even more of a foothold and a voice in what they do and say. There are lots of companies where you've got a board of directors who are basically on the line doing what they should do, some not doing so well and some doing exceptionally well. And yet for some weird reason, they suddenly change and have advertising to become super inclusive of people who don't even buy or utilize their products. They want to be seen to be this kind of a company. They want to be seen to be anti this, anti that. And by doing so, they actually go overboard. They become more and more disingenuous, because a lot of what you see on the TV created by the stupid, thick, ignorant advertising companies, because obviously they're getting paid to do that, you're getting people saying, I don't really empathize with what I'm seeing on the TV anymore, because I don't see all those kind of people in my daily life doing those jobs. I don't see all those kind of people doing this and this and this and this. And whereas you don't have to see it, because it depends where you live in any country, whether it's a countryside or in a city, and depending on which city as well. But nevertheless, it does come to mind, because you do notice these things. And deep down, you do understand that things are not what they should be. They are manufactured to some kind of remit, which is not a natural remit. It's not a normal remit. It's something which has been created by people and put out to formulate something. Again, they're telling you what you should or shouldn't do subliminally by putting out these weird adverts and having lots and lots of different ethnicities in the adverts, as if that makes everything all right, and suddenly they become an inclusive company, and suddenly they become warm and wonderful and gorgeous and marvelous and super and terrific, and everybody's going to think they're great and exciting, and they're going to buy the products and sign up to their services. Well, it's not so. And not so at all, because most of the public are getting fed up of being told what is and what isn't, when in reality they're walking the streets every day to and from work and shopping in the supermarkets, and they see nothing like what is put out on the screens. And you wonder, who are the board of directors and what are they thinking of? Are they weak, gutless, spineless morons too? Have they nothing? Have they no backbone? Because if they haven't a backbone, they're going to eventually go downhill. They're going to start to find new ways to actually create sales. And also you get a lot of companies are going exceptionally green, but they're not green at all. They just put out a few credentials and that's it. If you looked at how the companies were run and what they do, they're not green at all. And you can't go green overnight. And sometimes going green is really a counterproductive situation, because by doing so, you'd eliminate half the staff because you couldn't make the products anyway. So it's got to be a gradual process and a process of evolution, and something which will actually find its own level in its own time. It cannot be done overnight just to appease certain people or stupid morons who are fanatics about these kind of things and care nothing about really in life and society. All they care about is their dream and their thought and their ideology, and how it's implemented is of no consequence at all. So when you're actually looking at companies, don't be frightened to comment upon them and say, well, I don't believe that. What you said, it doesn't feel right in my heart. It doesn't feel right deep down. It doesn't feel right to look at. It doesn't feel right to listen to. What you're saying is one thing, and you seem to be doing this from some kind of formula because there are outside sources telling you, well, this is really what you should do if you want to appear this, because it's not true. They're trying to gain a business, and they're trying to approach you to get into that business for their benefit, not for yours. And whereas there may be a little truth in what they say, it's only a little truth. Reality is the biggest thing you can only come to terms with, because reality is how things are actually happening. And when you hit reality, people do resonate with it well because they feel comfortable. Subliminally, they feel well. So next time things are not going your way, or you see things outside which are not quite right, do whatever you want to do things your way. Say, complain, reject, go somewhere else, do something. Do it for you, because it does make a difference. It really does make a difference. And don't think it's only just me doing this. No, there's not. If you think that way, there are millions and millions and millions of others who think the same way. And they're fed up of being pushed into saying this and to seeing this because some cretinous moron, some insipid brain has thought this is what it should be done. Well, it's not. And so do what you need to do and feel the comfort yourself.